Okay, well, welcome again to another episode of Tightwad Todd, and I am always, as always, glad to be with you. And today we are going to be looking at how to change the oil on a 2020 Toyota Camry. This is the Toyota Camry. Earlier at another video, actually on my initial video, I showed how to change the spark plugs on this, but we're going to do a little bit more extensive thing here. You wouldn't think it would be, but it is a little more extensive to change oil. And so let me just show you how I do it. Maybe not the best way to do it, but by gosh, it's the way I do it. And so this can save a lot of money because, my goodness, I think at the dealership, I heard it was $90 to, in order to change the oil, have the dealership do it. But here, I think I paid maybe about $25 for the 5 quarts of oil that I will use. And I believe that the oil filter, well, I think I bought a bunch of those, so it's probably $3 or $4, $5. So we'll do this for about $30 probably. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the hood, which I've already done this. I forgot, I've undone the clasp on it there. And then, and as is the case with what I usually do here, I am going to also go get my nitrile gloves here, so I do not get my hands too soiled up here. Trusty nitrile gloves. While I am over here, I am also going to get the oil. Okay, so here I go, and this vehicle calls for a very lightweight oil. It is a 0W16, so I have some Mobil 1 here, and I think it takes I think it takes 4.5 quarts. So this has got a little over 2 quarts in here. And so I'm going to have to get, oh gosh, sorry. I'm gonna have to get a couple of these. Forget I have this. Okay, so that's, there, we'll get these. We get Mobil 1 and Pennzoil. Some people have, certain preferences as far as these things go. To me, they're both full synthetic. I mean, people have their favorite oils. I don't know, this is what I do. I'm not saying it's right, this is what I do. Okay. So I'm gonna get these two. I'm just gonna bring them over there. I don't think I need anything else off this shelf. And so I will just go ahead and make my way over here and put those at the ready, as it were. And here I am going to find the clasp for the hood, just somewhere right here, since I popped it from inside the vehicle. My goodness, you'd think I could. Well, if you can't find the clasp of the hood, you're in bad shape, and maybe I'm in bad shape. So, incidentally, I have run the vehicle. I just drove home from work, so the engine is hot, which is desirable because that makes the oil more fluid, and it makes it flow more easily. It will run out more easily. You don't want it super hot. You don't want to scald. If you get it on, you don't want to burn your fingers off. But usually, it won't be that hot. And this is how I do it again. So, what I'm going to have to do, in our previous vehicles, I am not that wide of a person, and so usually I have been able to shimmy underneath all the vehicles I've owned. These vehicles are getting lower and lower to the ground. This 2020 Camry is certainly no exception, and so as a consequence, I have to jack it up, okay? And so you might say that in more ways than one. Usually I do jack things up when I do mechanical work, but this is the jack I'm going to use to jack it off the ground higher. So we're going to make our way over here, and you can see I've got all this junk in my way. But this is the jack I have. I can't remember how much I paid for it, but it is a good investment. If you're going to do any kind of automotive work, this kind of low-profile jack is good. And I think these could be had for less than $100. I mean, if it's a one-time investment type of thing. And so we're gonna roll it under there. I love this jack. I think actually this was a gift. for Christmas or something. But so what we're going to do is we'll roll that under here, and there is a, you know what? To be careful, this is a front wheel drive car, and so just to be safe, what I'm going to do is to make sure this doesn't, like, when I jack it up, roll down the driveway and out and through the neighbor's fence. I am going to put some boards underneath the back tires, maybe or maybe not. This is adequate, but I'm just going to do it just to be safe here. So here's some 2x4s. Probably better to do something bigger than 2x4. I don't know, but I am going to get these two 2x4s, and I'm just, for safety's sake, I'm going to put them behind the back wheels on this. And the reason for that, just to be very clear, is because putting these behind the tires, once I jack the vehicle up, the problem is it's a front wheel drive car, and so the issue is that once the front end is off the ground, the transmission is not keeping it from rolling, right? So these can spin freely, and I just don't want to accidentally run it down the driveway. So I'm gonna put those there, and we will make our way over here and over my vacuum cleaner, and then we are going to jack it up. Now, let's see here. First of all, I'm going to put a box down here just to keep myself off the floor, keep things a little clean. So I keep boxes when I get a delivery, a shipment or something. I will keep a box just so I can have something for this very reason, so I don't have to get all nasty and dirty underneath the car. So I am going to jack this, and you probably can't see this for nothing, but there is a piece of frame here, and actually the splash guards everywhere except they're on this piece of frame here. And so there's if you stick your hand straight under, right in the middle of the car, there's a frame member that's a good place to jack. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to move my box a little bit. Excuse me. There, okay. Now, I'm going to move my jack. Oops, gosh, easy. Okay, under here. And I'm going to have to, whoops, I should have left that down. Okay, now I'll tighten it up. But I'm going to put the jack right under there, and then kind of make sure that I'm jacking in just the right spot here. Oh, golly. And sorry if you can't see. I'm not meaning for you not to be able to see, but it's a little bit tricky to get under here. So I am going to let's see, make sure that's on there good, and let's see, it feels like it's on there okay. I'm not going to jack it up very high, incidentally. I don't need to jack it up very high, so don't be cranking this up in the air. You know, there's that's not necessary. Just enough to get under it is really all we need. So I'm going to jack it up, and you can see the car starting to rise ever so slightly as I jack it up here. And so we will jack it up just a little bit here, a little bit more, and that may be actually just about adequate. Now, I am going to I could have even got these ready, but no, why would I do that? I'm going to get my tools out here, and you can see I've got this little tool bin. This is what I'm looking for right here. This is a handy little thing. You don't have to have one of these. It's 10 millimeter, but I found this very useful for what I'm going to show you I'm going to do. Also, oh gosh, is this a 14 millimeter? I didn't dig all my tools out. I could have, but this is I'm showing you, this is real life here. I'm showing you the whole thing. It's a 14 millimeter box-in wrench. That's I think that's what we need. If not, I'll tell you shortly. But now, what I'm going to do right now, before I get under there, I'm going to try to couple birds with one stone potentially here. I am going to go back and I'm going, well, maybe I can go this way. I'm going to go get, oh, golly. I am going to get my drain pan, which is this thing right here. Okay. Yeah, this right here. So this is a nice little feature. I've had this, or little item. I've had this for several years, and it's good for draining the oil. I'm going to take the little plug out of it here. You know what? I'm going to have to get a rag anyway. So I'm going to get a rag because this is a messy job. And so we're going to go make our way back around here and go and get a rag. Here's some old underwear, in case you were wondering. I'm sure you weren't. And this funnel, this is a good funnel. I like this funnel. It's useful. Okay, and so I'm going to bring it around here. Oh gosh, just trying to get that out. Okay, there. Okay. And so we will put that under. I'm gonna put this funnel up here, and I will try to get this drain pan underneath here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this little plug out here, and I'll clean that off so I can sit it over here on the lawnmower. And then hey, I'm not cutting anything out. This is not an edited video. You just got to fast forward through this because I'm showing you every little thing. Okay, this is what I really do when I do this. Okay, so I'm going to get under the car here, and as I get under it, and as you get under it, you will discover that, whoa, golly, sorry. That was like being on a roller coaster, I bet. Okay, I'm going to get this little thing here, and we're going to use that to remove this plate. So there's a plate under here, and it's got, I don't know, maybe 4 screws, not a lot, just a few screws on it, and these screws hold this splash guard over the it holds it over the thing you have to remove, the oil drain, bolt. So I'm going to take these 4. Well, let me try this one first. We'll take all 4 of those out. I think there's just 4, and they're not bad. I just like this little gizmo that I'm using because it's pretty easy to take them out with that, because these aren't like really tight. They're just in plastic, so they're pretty easy to remove. So I'm going to take them. I don't know if you can see a blooming thing here, but I didn't jack this thing way up in the air. In fact, I didn't even get the wheels off the ground, I don't think. Maybe that's a good thing, right? So it's definitely not going to roll away. The boards are probably overkill, but hey. So I'm going to, woo, there it goes. So I'm going to take that thing off. And eventually I'll get that out of there. It's probably not as hard a thing as I make it look, you know. I mean, it's not like I do this every day, but you know, I have done this quite a few times, so I have kind of figured out some best practices as far as I'm concerned anyway. So this is where the oil drain is, back here at the back of the here it is, back on the back of this oil pan, which is right inside this. And so what I got to do is I'm gonna slide the drain over there, and then I've got to figure out where in the world. There it is. There's my 14 millimeter open box in, and so here's the thing that I got to take out. Hopefully it won't be too tight. It could be tight if you had a shop do this last time, but hopefully it won't be too terribly tight. So we're gonna, boy, don't I make it look easy? You know what? I'll bet it's not a 14. Oh yeah, it is, okay. So I just didn't have it on there good. So I'm gonna unscrew this. So righty-tighty, lefty loosey. Oh, there it is. Broke it loose. Don't know what I do with my underwear. Where am I? There they are. Need this just because it's gonna be kind of messy. It's gonna have oil coming out when I take this thing off. Hot oil, here we come. Okay. So, whoa, there goes. See, look at that. Ooh, look at it go. Look at it go. So, there is the oil draining out of there very rapidly. And you can see, because it is warm, that oil just is really shooting out quite readily as it drains. Hopefully you're able to see what's going on here. And so what I like to do is I just like to let that drain for a while, right? And I like this pan because it's nice and big. You know, you could drain it into other things, but this one is big enough that, you know, you don't miss a lot of stuff, thankfully. And so that's I mean, you don't miss a lot of stuff. You don't have stuff run all over the place. So we'll let that drain for a few minutes here, and while we're doing that, I'm gonna clean the oil off my gloves. You can see why I like these nitrile gloves, because they keep me from getting hot oil all over my hands. That's a win, right? And so we're gonna clean our hands off here, and then I'm gonna prop myself up and try to get an oil filter, which is the next step here. So it is draining. Sometimes you can, I don't know if this is really necessary, but you can, let's see here, you know, this is where you fill the oil, and you could loosen that up a little bit, might help it flow, but I don't think it's having any problem flowing right now, okay? So we are gonna make our way over here, over the vacuum cleaner again, and I am gonna get an oil filter while that is draining. Ideally, I would let this drain for, quite a while. I would let it drain for, I don't know, maybe a half an hour or something like that, but I'm not going to maybe do that. You don't want a half an hour of dead space probably on your video. Wouldn't that be exciting? Why am I over here? I forgot what I came for. Okay, so I am getting one of these. I'm 95% sure this is the right oil filter, although yeah, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so these are Super Tech. I bought them from Walmart. That was pretty cheap. I think I bought several of them. Just add them to the groceries. You notice it's 10,000 miles is what this says, and that's a great thing. These new cars with the synthetic oils, they last so much longer. The oil changes, there's so much more of an interval between oil changes. Some people still insist on changing them 3,000 miles, things like that. Hey, listen, I'm going to do what the manual says. This is what the manual says, and this is what I'm going to do. So, and especially since I don't particularly enjoy changing the oil, and so I'm going to use this Super Tech oil filter. Some people swear by other, specific brands, etc., etc. It's Walmart, okay? Everybody's car is not blowing up. There's probably 50 million people using Walmart Super Tech oil filters, okay? So whatever you want to do, whatever floats your boat. Buy a $50 oil filter, I don't care. But for me, I'm gonna go with the cheap stuff. So the cheap, but like reliable. I don't want one that's filled with toilet paper or anything, but what was I gonna say about this? Oh, the 10,000 miles. Felt like there was something I was going to say about that, but I don't know. But it's very wonderful that you can go that long. And these are newer vehicles, obviously, so that's the case with these newer vehicles. So we'll bring this over here. We will put that over here. And I'm going to save the box, and I will show you why I'm saving the box in a few moments. You will know why I'm saving the box as I save the box. Here we go. Show you a few little pointers pertinent to this. Now let's see what the oil is doing. I feel like Bob Vila. Now let's take a look at the oil and see what it's doing. Well, it's doing the same thing it was doing a minute ago. It's just draining. Oh, yep. See, look at that. There's a little. If you can make that out, just a little tiny stream that's still flowing. I don't know how visible that is to you, but just a tiny little stream. And so I don't see any. Sometimes I've gotten oil all over the place, and thankfully I've gotten better at not doing that. Let me see. I'm going to try to go ahead and take this oil filter off. Now, this is a little bit trickier, right? Okay, so the oil filter is not, at least jacked up this much, it is not visible to the eye, okay? So, I don't know what else it could be visible to anyway. But it is actually positioned sideways into the engine right about here, okay? So I want to make sure that the, my extra, and this is another reason you like to have a nice big pan like this. It's going to allow it to catch this while that's still draining. And so I'm going to go ahead and find that. Incidentally, I just hand tighten this. I got free oil changes or something when I first bought this car. And so for like 3 free oil changes, and my goodness, the dealership or the shop will sometimes put this thing on here so tight that you need Hercules and 5 of his brothers to take it off, or it's just, you can't get it off. And I remember I had to use a channel lock to take it off a couple times. But I just hand tighten it, no problems. It's tight enough. It doesn't leak. That's what you care about. You just don't want it leaking. That's all that matters. So I am going to hand loosen it. And it's not, I don't mean that it's loose as a goose. I'm just saying it's not tight as the bark on a tree here. Okay. So I'm just easing it off with my fingers here. Oh, look at that. Look at that oil draining out of there. See it? And so I'm going to let that maybe just drain for a minute. Well, since it just started doing that, why get oil all over hex half acre here if I can just let it drain for a minute, and I'll just let it dribble a little bit. Okay, now maybe a little more, maybe a little more. Well, now it's about to come loose big time here probably. So we'll go ahead and take it off all the way, and just easing it off with my fingers here. Doesn't look like much is happening, but it is actually turning. Whoa, there we go. Whoa, there it is. See it there? So there's actually a little bit of a, oh gosh, it's draining on my hand. Okay, there's a little bit of a ridge on this thing. I don't know where it is. Where in tarnation is, oh, there it is. It kind of elevates it a little bit. You can actually lift it up so it'll drain better into the pan. Again, clean our hands off because now I've got hot oil on them again. Not hot, it's not burning hot. Nope, it's not hurting. It's just warm at this point, especially with these gloves on. I mean, if my hands were bare, maybe they'd be a little bit, it'd be a little bit more uncomfortable, but it's not bad at all in this situation. So we will just clean our hands off, and there, nice and clean. Okay, so, and where I'm cleaning this other one, probably making it dirty. So now I am going to, while this is draining, and I'm just going to let, it pretty much it's done draining where the oil filter is. So what I'm going to do, show you something here. Where did I put my oil? Okay, so here's my new oil filter, right? And the other one's draining. I'm gonna get this one that's already open, and I'm gonna bring it over here. And what I'm gonna do is I am going to stick a clean finger into the bucket here. Just, oh crud, stinkfish. Okay, I just made a mess. Well, not a terrible mess, but more of a mess than I'd like to. Okay, so, well, there goes my perfect record cleaning, not dripping oil, this particular oil change. So make sure that's clean. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put that right around the, well, you can't see them there. So you're gonna put it right around the rim here, make sure there's no dry spots. The reason for that is you don't want to put dry rubber on, with the dry rubber O-ring on a oil filter onto the car, because if you do that, you may never get it off. And so you want that film of oil, just really a film, just a little bit on there. And so you can see it's shiny now with the oil I just put on there. Okay, so well, I'm gonna put this, next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put the lid on this thing, because I'm gonna tell you what happens if I don't put the lid on that. I'll knock it over, and then I will be upset. Okay, with myself. Okay, so, oh golly, here we go again. Okay. So now this is a little bit of a trick. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna feel around here. Now I don't want to get debris and junk on that, so I'm gonna try to locate where the little, I guess it'd be like a threaded nipple is what you'd call it, that sticks out from the side of the engine is, so I can just, ow, there it is. Oh, I'm always losing my rag, I never know where that thing is. Okay, so clean my hands off again. Now I'm going to try to put this filter up there where that little nipple is. So kind of just feel around for it, and it's not really hard, it's a big thing, and so you locate it, and once you locate it, you're just gonna screw it on there. Let's see, I hope I'm turning it the right way. I think I am. Oh boy. Sometimes it's hard to get the right angle on it. I feel like, oh my goodness, am I not? Well, this is real life, folks. Here, I am not. There, maybe that'll be better. My goodness, am I going to have to get two hands involved here? I'll be double dipped. That thing is not cooperating. It's not that hard, okay? It really is not that hard. I don't know what my story is tonight. Surely. Ow! Ooh, that's hot. Just touched something hot. I'll tell you what. What am I doing here? Make sure it's still greased up good. I'm not having a lot of success tonight. All right, friends. Well, I hate to edit a video, but I'll explain to you why. Much has transpired tonight. So you'll notice the sun was still shining last time, the first part of this video, and I ran into a very difficult thing tonight, and that was that no matter how hard I tried, I could not get that oil filter to screw on underneath the car. And so come to find out, I had done a Walmart pickup and ordered the appropriate oil filter. However, they had given me the wrong one, and unbeknownst to me, and I just noticed that tonight when I tried to put it on, and no wonder it didn't work. I thought, my goodness, I've done this probably 16 times and never had a problem, maybe 15 times, and never had a problem, and why can I get this thing to screw on? Well, I can't get it to screw on because it was the wrong filter. So here's the correct filter for a 2020 Toyota Camry. It is the, well, in this case, again, the Super Tech filter, but it's a 4967. So good for 10,000 miles. So hopefully this will go a little more easily. Now back to our routine here. We want to put some oil on on the O-ring here so that it will not adhere to the engine. Let me put it on here. So I'm going to put this this thin coat of oil here. Just make sure there's no dry spots here, right? Okay, nothing too fancy there. And then we are going to put this cap back on so I don't knock this over on the floor and create a disaster. And now I am going to come with me underneath the vehicle, the Camry here, and oh goodness, we're gonna put this here, and well, we'll see if we can get under here where we need to be and see what we can find. Oh goodness. Ugh, I don't want to get junk on there. Okay, so we will try to wind our way under here, and as you can see here, underneath the vehicle, we can see where hopefully you can see where oh gosh, where that belongs. And so I'm going to try to give this another shot here and see if it's a little easier this time, now that we have the correct oil filter. And so I am going to feel my way up there, and we are hopeful this will go better, because my goodness, I worked on that for probably 15 minutes, and you don't want to hear me grunting and groaning trying to put a oil filter that doesn't fit on for 15 minutes. Look at that, just that. When you put the right one on there, it works so much better. So I'm just going to snug it up hand tight, and see how easy that was? I made it look so hard before. Okay, so there's that. This has had more than enough time, hours to drain now. And here's a little spot of oil. It looks like I may have dripped when the filter was changed. So I'm going to drag this out of the way, and drag that out of the way, and oh, what's that stuff? Some drips back there. I wonder what that is. Maybe that's water. Anyway, here is our bolt that fits in the oil pan. We'll clean that off, and then we will replace it. If I can find where I put my wrench, wouldn't that be great? Where did I put my wrench? We don't know where I put my wrench. Okay, I'm gonna scoot back. Oh gosh, scoot down here, and hopefully that thing will turn up in a minute. I'm gonna wipe this off. Now, one thing I might mention, there is a little, see that little washer on there? You're gonna make sure that doesn't get lost in the process here. You'll make sure that's still about, and I just wipe that off there, and then let's see. You're gonna put it on top. There it is. Put it underneath the pan. Okay, so I'm gonna put that back here, and we will snug it up good and tight. Whoa, sorry. Well, hope that didn't make you too dizzy. Here. Let's see if we can figure out what we're doing here. Okay, so we're going to snug that up tight. Okay, and it's snug. And there we go. So, well, I'm going to put this pan on here, back on here, but I'm not going to bore you with that. I would put the back of the pan on there first. It's really quite easy. I would do it for you if it wasn't easy, but I don't want you to have to watch me do that. What I'm going to do is, now that the filter is on, and now that the bolt is on that holds the situation together here, I am going to put some oil in. Wouldn't that be good to replace the oil? And so to do that, I am going to put in 4.5 quarts. So here, I will take this little thing out and clean that off. That little cap. It's not a little thing, it's a cap. And we will clean this off a little bit. Don't get any debris down in there. I will stick my handy dandy funnel, make sure there's nothing living in there. Don't want anything going down in there. And then we will put 4.5 quarts. Now, what I like to do is I will try to set this on a flat surface so I can make sure I'm judging it rightly. And this is quart side and this is a liter side. So this is 1, 2.5 quarts. So if I need to put approximately 2.5, if I need to put 4.5, I'm gonna need to put this 2.5. This is gonna require a little math, not my strong suit. So I'm going to, and let me show you what I found here. I found that if you dump these containers, I like to buy these 5-quart containers. If you dump it this way, it doesn't splash. Ooh, let's hold on a minute. If you dump it this way, it doesn't splash. So I'm gonna, if you pour it sideways like this, instead of like straight on, and you don't want to pour it too fast or you can get it to where it's not running in the engine and it kind of runs out all over the place and makes an ugly mess. So you don't want that. And I just, so that's 2.5 quarts, right? We'll put that there to let that drain for a minute. And then I will crack open this other container. And so now this is where math comes in, right? So 2.5 quarts, again, let's see, is this quarts on this side? No, it's different on this one. How about it? Okay, so this is quarts. So 2.5, we need to put 2 quarts in here, right? And so to put 2 quarts in here, there's 5-quart bottle. That's gonna mean we go down to the 3 quarts. So this is gonna be 1, 2 quarts plus the 2.5 quarts we already put in there, which should be 4.5 quarts. So we're gonna fill this one up until the 3-quart line. So we will, that doesn't have a, usually they have some kind of little safety seal or something there. Not that you're gonna drink this stuff, but you know. Okay, so I'm gonna get that out of here. And then we will, now this is where it becomes a little more tricky, right? We don't wanna put too much in there. And by the way, if you save your old motor oil for whatever purpose you save it for, recycling or burning, whatever, don't, take care that you don't mix them up, because I have done that before. I mixed accidentally got my old motor oil on the shelf with my new motor oil, and that's not good. So anyway, I figured it out before I put it in my car. So here, we're gonna put, now remember, I have to keep an eye on this because I only want to put 2 quarts in here. So we're gonna dump that on in here. While I'm at it, let me just make sure I'm putting the right viscosity. Yep, 0W16 is what this calls for, and so that's what we're gonna dump in there. So we'll dump that slowly in there. Okay, now I want to check how much I put in there. You don't want to overfill it, okay? It's not like, you can have definitely too much of a good thing here, right? With oil. It's not, it'll foul out your plugs. I don't know what all it'll do, but you don't want to overdo it. So we didn't put much in there. Okay. You don't want to overdo it and you don't want to underdo it. So you're going to get it just about exactly right. Now, what I do is I put in approximately the, I try to put in, the amount that it calls for in the manual, but until that oil filter fills, you're not going to have that exact amount. And so you can't really check your dipstick, I don't think, right after this, and you have to run it a little while. So you want to get it, get your correct amount of oil as per the manual, but then you want to check it. I would say maybe the next day, run it, a little bit, and then when you've run it a little bit, then you see if if it's got the exact amount, and then you can always add a little bit more if you need to. Hopefully, we'll get it pretty close here, because I'm going to try to get it pretty close to. Let's see, that's right about 3 quarts. Don't put 3 gallons in. Okay, so there's that. Ooh, that's the wrong cap. Now let's see. I'll put this cap on and tighten that up. Okay, well there you go. So I'm gonna put that there. We got to, you know, I'm gonna recap this. We'll put our oil cap back on there and get that sealed up. And then tighten that up. Okay, and then I am going to put the splash guard back on the bottom. I'm going to gently let the jack down, roll that out from under there, remove my boards, and I'm also going to I'll clean this thing up, and I'll stick the nozzle of that probably in this empty thing here, in this empty oil container. And, you know, just a couple things I've noticed. I mean, when I do that, I'll share a couple things with you. Just I won't demonstrate all this, but you want to make sure this little thing is back in there wherever I put that. I don't know where I put it, but you'll put that back in there, because otherwise, when you tilt that up, you're going to have oil all over the place. And even this little air breather hole, you want to hold that shut, I think, when you're doing it, because you don't want used motor oil splashing all over the place. So I hope that helps. I hope that I'm not omitting something, and I hope I didn't make it look harder than it was. I am sorry about the debacle with the wrong-sized oil filter. That is, you just got to have the right size oil filter, obviously, because I labored with that thing for 15 minutes, and I could not understand why I couldn't get it on there. Well, finally looked at the number on it and realized it was wrong. So anyway, make sure you got the right number, make sure you got the right kind of oil. And I hope this is a help, and I hope that maybe you can change your 2020 Toyota Camry motor oil this way. You may have a different kind of vehicle, and maybe there's some similarities different in your Camry. I don't know how those differ, but the principles are generally the same. I hope this is a help. I hope you enjoyed this edition of Tightwad Todd. I hope you have a great day. And I invite you to subscribe to this channel so you can get more money-saving tips from me, Tightwad Todd, and I will look forward to being back with you again next time. You take care.